ISRO, or the Indian Space Research Organization, has received a lot of attention lately. The successful Chandrayaan 3 mission has given added boost to India's already ascending status in space. We have become the fourth country to soft land a spacecraft on the moon and first to land on the south pole of the moon.
आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी, नमस्कार. Sir, we have achieved soft landing on the moon. India is on the moon.
We can't help but ask, why do we need it? Why does a low-income country like India need a space program? And couldn't our resources be used in a better way? ISRO was founded on August 15, 1969, with its headquarters in Bangalore, on India's 23rd Independence Day. So, our Independence Day is also ISRO's birthday. Our journey started on a bicycle, and today we have become the first country who have reached the unexplored side of the moon. When ISRO was created, it faced several political oppositions, and there was a looming doubt that if that was the best use of our limited resources. Approximately 40 to 45% of Indian population was estimated to be living under the poverty line. Dr. Vikram Sarabhai said that a space program will actually help us with our poverty, and Dr. Homi Bhabha, who's considered as the father of nuclear program in India, supported him in his vision, and together they set up the first launching site in 1963 in Thiruvananthapuram. Since then, ISRO has helped us with various aspects which has helped our civilian and military needs. In the state of Karnataka, farmers were facing challenges due to uncertain weather patterns and water availability. The lack of reliable information about soil moisture and crop health often led to inefficient irrigation practices and reduced crop yield. Through its remote sensing technology, ISRO provided regular updates on soil moisture level and weather conditions in the region. This information was made available to the farmers through agriculture extension centers and mobile applications, and thus helping them manage everything more efficiently. Similarly, in the state of Orissa, a team of geologists and mineral exploration experts were searching for a potential iron ore deposit. Traditional methods of mineral exploration involved ground surveys and geological studies, which were time-consuming and resource-intensive. ISRO's satellite imagery and remote sensing data provided a breakthrough. The high-resolution satellite images captured from the space were used to analyze the geological formations and surface anomalies. These were later used by the experts to identify mineral associated with iron ore deposits. During the 1999 Kargil War, our Indian troops were having difficulties dislodging the incoming militants in the Himalayas. Access to the GPS was withheld by the United States because they wanted to remain neutral in this situation. Following which, India recognized the strategic significance of having its own satellite-dependent navigation system. NAVIC was created for this purpose as an Indian GPS system. Navigation with Indian constellation, NAVIC, is a constellation of 7 satellites. It was approved in 2006, but it went in full operation in 2018, which covers the entire territory of India. So we know ISRO is more than useful in helping our economy and our military, but it also is very efficient in doing so. For example, ISRO's Mars mission was $75 million as opposed to NASA's Mars mission, which costed them $671 million. Although NASA's Mars mission did accomplish a lot more. What ISRO's Mangalyaan used was something called as the Auger effect, or the slingshot method, which uses the Earth's gravity to accelerate a spacecraft towards its destination. We see a similar technique during a shot put throw, where an athlete rotates to gain extra momentum before they throw. This saves fuel but increases the time taken to get to the destination because the distance covered is a lot longer. That is why NASA's Apollo mission took 4 days to get to the moon, while ISRO's Chandrayaan took over a month. We also use the same techniques with all of our Chandrayaan missions, and it was actually the Chandrayaan 1 that found the existence of water on the moon. However, what Chandrayaan-1 did was a hard landing, where you use the impact probe and just drop it on the moon and hope that it works. And it did. It helped us get useful information about existence of water on the moon. Chandrayaan-2 mission was our first attempt to do a soft landing, where the Vikram lander had a failure, but the orbiter successfully separated from the lander and is still taking high-resolution pictures of the moon till today. The lander failed at the very last moment, and our first attempt for the soft landing was unsuccessful. We all remember this emotional moment from back then. Which brings us to Chandrayaan-3, which gave us this historic moment. It was Chandrayaan-3 that made India the fourth country to land on the moon and the first country to soft land on the south pole of the moon. But why the south pole? Primarily due to its speculative reserves of lunar water. The permanently shadowed craters may hold frozen water that can help future astronaut missions. Since the water can be split into hydrogen and oxygen, the hydrogen can be used to refuel a spacecraft to send them further into the space, and the oxygen will be used by astronauts to survive on the moon. This is very important if we want to create a permanent moon base. NASA's upcoming Artemis mission, which is trying to send human beings back to the moon, is an attempt in that direction. So this was not just an achievement for India, but for the entire planet, and was celebrated by the world. Google also dedicated a doodle celebrating this achievement. ISRO more than makes up for its budget by launching foreign satellites and protecting our borders. It once launched 103 satellites for various countries using its PSLV, or the Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle. But there are some things you cannot put a price on. You cannot put a price on innovation spirit that has been rekindled in our youth. They are now inspired to work in science and tech for betterment of our future and our nation. The sense of unity and patriotism that we feel when we see our rover roll out and leave our nation's emblem's imprint on the moon. India has its fair share of problems, but achievement like this strengthens our hope that we are doing something right. And we will be able to overcome our shortcomings and come out victorious. Thank you and goodbye.